Hello, my friend. Welcome to the Secrets of a Witch podcast with me, Sabrina Scott, where I talk all about life, love, healing, witchcraft, magic, spirituality, tarot, mediumship, feminine energy, good vibes, and everything in between. As we are recording this, it is currently 2 a.m. in Toronto, actually, and my eyes are about to close. I've been in bed all day reading and journaling and reflecting, and I've had the candles burning this whole time. And at the moment, all 3 cats are chilling with me, which is amazing. I don't know if many of you guys have multiple cats, but I will tell you, multiple cats is 100% the vibe. So I'm kind of curious how the eclipse has hit everybody. I know for me, it's been pretty seismic, and I can feel the energy dissipating a little bit, releasing a little bit. I definitely feel like I still have some journaling and reflecting and some planning and some more intention work to be doing, as well as journaling on restructuring and rewriting some limiting beliefs about who I am and what's possible for me. And so I know there's probably some of y'all who are like, what? Like, you still do that? But the fact of the matter is, even though I am really proud of myself and where I've ended up and how I'm doing, what I've been able to achieve, who I am as a person, etc., I am always in this constant process of kind of like analysis in a way, but it's like a spiritual analysis. Like, I'll do a lot of reading, a lot of journaling, a lot of self-reflection, touching in with my intuition, touching in with my guides, reading tarot cards, of course, and just getting really quiet with myself, right? And I think that's something that a lot of us don't do. You know, I had a conversation recently with somebody, I can't even remember who it was, but I remember this person was like completely flabbergasted that I don't listen to anything when I'm out of the house. So if I bring my headphones with me, it's only if I'm writing at a coffee shop or something and I need to focus on work. Like, I will never listen to music or headphones or anything like that if I'm riding the bus, riding the subway, commuting to go do something, or just on a walk in the neighborhood. Like, it's really not something I do, and I haven't ever done that, honestly. Maybe when I was 16 I did it for a little while, but I haven't done it since then. And I just find it's really important to make that space, you know. And maybe you're a music lover, maybe you really can't give up your headphones, that's cool. But my question to you is, have you made the time, and do you make the time to regularly listen to yourself? You know, like, listen to your heartbeat, listen to your breath, listen to the state of your intuition and what your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul is communicating to you about what it is that you need to be working through right now, what it is you need to be moving towards right now and moving away from. The day before the eclipse, I guess this must have been on Friday, I did a interesting tarot reading for myself. And the 4 cards that I pulled, I'll tell you what each card was about. I'll only tell you what one of those cards was. But the cards that I pulled for were, number 1, what is the lesson of this eclipse? Number 2, what do I need to be moving away from? Number 3, what should I be doing? And number 4, what should I be releasing right now? Hilariously, all these cards were reversals except for what I need to be moving away from. And hilariously, apparently, the lesson of this eclipse, what I need to be moving away from is the upright Queen of Swords. Or no, Wands. The upright Queen of Wands, which is crazy because that's one of my favorite cards. I've been pulling that a lot lately, and I've been really happy that I've been pulling it a lot lately. And I know exactly what I've been pulling it about lately in general has been artisticness, writing, getting back in touch with my creativity and my life force energy, which has been a little bit dull, I would say, since maybe mid-2020. But anyway, that's a topic for another episode. But what I find so interesting about this card coming up in that position, right? It's objectively a good card. And yet, that's something to be moving away from. So some of y'all might be like, how the hell did you interpret that? Because I think it's that type of reading that is going to confound and befuddle the novice tarot reader. So what I took from it, from my situation, was not that I need to move away from creativity and fire and passion, all that stuff I've been cultivating. No, instead, some of my path forward, I think, is about starting from scratch in some ways, about some things, and stepping back from a position of authority and a position of expertise. And obviously, like, I'm gonna always be an expert in what I'm an expert in. Like, you know, I'm not gonna unlearn everything that I know. But at the same time, entrenching myself in that expert position is going to keep me stuck in my life in some ways. And so the tightrope walk balance situation is to have that self-confidence, the self-worth, the self-awareness, to be like, yes, I am that Queen of Wands. Maybe this is true for you too. But, and also, that identity, it's so inherent that I'm going to let it move to the back burner a bit, put it on the shelf, and not regress or revert per se, but activate a more beginner's mind, a more childlike mind. And I think the answer to a lot of the things I've been working through over the past little while, this eclipse closes an 18-month period. So for you guys, think back to what all you've been doing and learning and being and all that over the past year and a half. For me, that was, you know, my surgery that I had at the end of March. I think it was like March 30th. So that definitely activated a portal for me, doing that procedure. And I do think surgery can be a big portal. I know my first surgery, like when I was 23, that definitely was a big portal opener for me. It was a big heart chakra restructuring, I would say, due to the location of that surgery. You guys can do the math. But anyway, bringing it back to this Queen of Wands, I do think sometimes we have to embrace the new energy, right? That hunger, that curiosity that teenagers sometimes have. I know I had that. I felt invincible when I was 17. I felt like hot shit. I felt like top of the world. I was so cocky. I was so arrogant. I was so confident at 17. I was probably a bit annoying, but, you know, I kind of actually love my 17-year-old self. I was such a, like, self-assured person about my art, at least. Not about other things necessarily, but about my art, I definitely was. And about my writing, I definitely was. And I think there is something about a childlike energy or a novice energy or a beginner's energy, where beginners are so curious, they're so hungry, they're so open. And sometimes when you are an expert or you are established in your field at something, it is really easy to lose some of that curiosity or some of that fire. And we can really only regain that, I think, in some sense, either if we blow everything up or we allow ourselves to turn ourselves upside down. You know, there was a book I was reading, I don't know, sometime earlier this year, probably. And it was, I don't really want to get into what the book was, but because it's not really relevant. But it was, let's just say it's written by a business person talking about politics. Let's just say that. And so, from what I can remember, one of the things that really stuck with me with this book was this guy was talking about the importance of always having the, like, insurgent energy, not the incumbent energy. And I'm hoping I'm remembering which word is which. But if I'm remembering it correctly, the incumbent energy is like the person who's already won a few times, right? Like they're kind of lofty. They're, you know, like here in Toronto, we had this mayor who recently resigned for sleeping with his staffer, which is insane. But he was a mayor like forever, like for so long. And he was just so impossible to defeat because he was there for so long. And, you know, he somehow never really lost. But anyways, I'm getting a bit off topic. But the reason I'm bringing that up is there is that energy that you kind of get where you're so entrenched. You know, like you're so kind of fossilized in a way. And you might be excellent at your job. You might be the best mayor or the best this or the best that. But there is like a fossilization that can happen if we stay in that queen and king space forever without revisiting the page and the knight energy, if we're going to relate this to the tarot, right? And so I find that really, really interesting, you know, that it's probably, I think, a space for me right now of rebirth, reconsidering who I want to be, both as an artist, a writer, a business person, an entrepreneur, a coach, a mentor, you know? And I think there's some permission in this, right, to move away from, yeah, it's working, but what else can we be? What else can we do? And I think this eclipse asks that of all of us right now. What did we learn over the last year and a half? Who were we? Where are we now as a result of whatever it is that we learned over that past while? What were some big shifts that happened? And oh my god, that's so cute. I don't know if you guys just heard that, but one of my cats is snoring. So if you guys heard a weird noise, that's what that was. And I think we can relate this to the Hanged Man in a way, right? And I don't mean that in the sense of inaction. I mean that in the sense of turning ourselves upside down. To really see things from a different perspective. And it can sometimes feel like it's a luxury to take the time to do that. You know, especially if we are a sole person providing for ourselves. We don't have the luxury to stop working. This is true for many entrepreneurs, especially solopreneurs. Not so much for, you know, folks with 9-to-5s. Y'all can take time off. But if you have your own business, it's just you, yourself, and you are the insurance policy. Like, you know. And so it can feel impossible, like, oh my god, like, how do I create the time and space to reorient and rebirth myself and to put my full ass behind that rebirthing? But I think it's kind of important, you know, and I think one of the things that I've been thinking through is how a lot of people probably perceive me as someone who is unafraid, or someone who is straightforward, or someone who is just like very themselves. And on one hand, that's very true. But I also know that there's like a gradient of it, right? Whereas like maybe the average person sees me as going up to 100 on their gradient, on their scale. But I know from my own gradient, my own scale, I think the scale and the gradient, it expands over time. And maybe if it only was up to 100 back a decade ago, maybe now it's up to like 10,000. I know that I'm nowhere near up to 10,000 on my scale. Like, I know I could be doing more, showing up more, being more fearless, being more vulnerable, putting my whole ass behind certain things I want to say, have said, and also certain things that I want to do. You know, it occurred to me recently that I haven't posted anything professional on my personal Facebook page in like years. Like, I don't even remember since how long. But I know that if I did, probably people would be jazzed about it, even if it's people who know me through other means. You know, like if people knew me from the illustration community as an illustration professor, which I was like a constant presence at illustration conferences and talks and all these things on an international level. I used to do one conference a month at least, you guys. There's years where I was doing that. It was insane. And so there's some people who only know that side of me, right? That respectable university professor type, that side of myself. And I'm still that, but it's been a long time since that's been all I have been, you know? And so I think there is still that fear in the back of my mind. It's like, oh my God, are these people, what are they going to think? Are they going to think I've given up? Are they going to think I'm a sellout because I'm not, you know, making my full living off being an illustration professor anymore? I've quit that. I've left the university in 2019. You know, what are these people going to think? Are they going to look down on me? Are they going to be disappointed? And on one hand, I don't really give a shit what people think, because who cares? Like, I'm going to do what I want to do. But on the other hand, I have to call myself out and be like, if I really didn't give a shit, then why haven't I posted that like 6 months ago by now? You know, and I know it is a baseless fear. And I know that this fear likely stems from probably some of the ways that I still am judging myself, or am still mourning the loss of that identity. Because that was a job I had wanted ever since I was 17. And I got that job when I was 24, 25. So that was like a job I had dreamed of for 8 years, and I got it, and it wasn't all that. And that was a big shift for me, identity-wise. And I think there's some ways that I'm still kind of coping with that. And that's probably why I haven't advertised my services loud and proud on Facebook, where I have all these professional contacts from another part of my life. And so I did not think I was going to talk about this today on the podcast. So there you guys go. But I share all of this to say that it never really ends, right? Like, I coach people on this stuff all the time. Like, I've got clients around feminine energy, around authenticity, around confidence, around taking these leaps, about following our dreams. Like, I coach people on this stuff all the time. And if anyone is interested in being a client with that, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to talk with you about what that might look like, you know. But I share this to say, like, even for me, this is a constant, every day, every month, every season process of continual renewal, continual reflection. And, you know, with these big moments like eclipses, I know for me, I always discover something new about myself. I always discover something new about, why have I not done this, or why am I afraid of that, or, you know, why do I feel like I can't speak, or why am I afraid of whatever, being canceled, even though I don't care about that community anymore. I don't play by those rules anymore. I don't hold those beliefs, you know? And so I think it is important to create the space to do these reflections, to do this journaling, to think about this stuff, to feel into it, and to explore what those next movements might feel like, even if it's a tiny voice at the back of our mind that we don't really want to admit to ourselves or anyone else. But, like all these little actions and inactions can speak volumes about our beliefs, our fears, our hopes, our dreams. Like me not posting, look at all my tarot stuff on Facebook every 5 seconds. Yeah, there's probably some subconscious stuff there that I didn't even realize until I just thought about it today. And so when we slow down, we can notice that stuff. It's important. That's what I hope you guys have spent some time doing during this eclipse season, during the eclipse at the moment, today is Saturday, but I'm going to be posting this on Sunday morning. But I would say the eclipse energy is still reverberating. And so if you haven't quite taken the time to reflect on some of this stuff for yourself, I would really recommend it. At least till Halloween, maybe at least until the beginning of November, All Saints, All Souls. Spend some time with this eclipse shifting energies. This is the time for it. So that's the podcast, my friends. If anyone is interested in working with me on a one-on-one basis, reach out. I do have little coaching packages that are available that will be going up in the new year in terms of the pricing. So just be aware of that. Do reach out. And also this weekend, tonight, Sunday night, I am teaching, I believe tonight's is Ancestor Magic Masterclass. And Monday night, I am teaching Tarot for Mediumship. Super excited about both. And of course, you can still enroll in my Tarot Without Bullshit mega course. Everything you need to know about the tarot. It's also the last time I'm going to be offering a group coaching component for this. Otherwise, it will not happen. I am shifting some stuff around my business in the new year, so this is the last chance you'll be able to get a few of these things and the way that I'm currently offering them. And so the links for all of that should be in the notes for this episode. I guess podcasters call it show notes. I find that so awkward, but it's in the description of this, all the links that you will need to find all of that stuff. And that is all, my friends. You can find me at sabrinamscott.com. If you are confused about signing up for anything or if you got any questions, feel free to just write a thing in the contact form over there. My email is ceo@sabrinamscott.com. And you can send me a DM on Instagram if you want, Sabrina M. Scott. Of course, my Instagram is also Sabrina M. Scott, you guys know. Since it is chilly season, feel free to pick up or at least check out some of my hoodies at shopsabrinamscott.com. Right now, I am wearing the Abundance Mindset Forest Green crop hoodie with the small embroidery on the side, and I've been sleeping in it lately. Actually, it's so soft, so cozy, and it really complements like literally every outfit. It does not look bad with anything. I don't know how that's possible, but it is somehow. Anyway, that's it, friends. Talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye.